What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the collective clips where you already know. Das. Ooh wee, West don't like that. We about to get it in, right? We're about to get it in like Wes Watson gets his whole wrist in his asshole. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content the gun is kicking. And I appreciate the support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So, my oh my.
Do I have a story to tell you?
So there's a particular wood man. I want to keep his name anonymous because he wants to keep his name anonymous. But we've been conversing back and forth through email, and he was in county jail with Wes Watson. He's the one that told me Wes Watson was in there trying to steal valor. Wes Watson was a super ninja, a Navy SEAL. Wes Watson was trying to defend country and everything in his own mind. But at the end of the day, we found out that that was fakery, right? That was lies. Wasn't no way that he was a Navy SEAL and all that. There's even people trying to justify it and say, oh, maybe he was. He wasn't. Stop, right? But there was a story to tell about Wes Watson doing a wood removal, brother, right? Got coffee? The guy didn't. And Wes Watson actually participated. It took a lot of prodding. He likes prodding, pegging, and paddling, right? It took a lot of prodding for him to do it. Now, have you guys ever seen the movie Shot Caller? We all seen it. We seen Shot Caller when Money Man had to do a removal, his first removal in prison, and he was scared to death in his cell. He said, "We're gonna do this, man. We're fucking gonna do it, brother." Right? And they did it. And after he did that, once he got a little taste of sangre, he never looked back, right? He ended up becoming that one. Well, Wes Watson was part of that, basically something like that. He didn't become that one. He became that one that just he was a mule. He stuck shit up in his ass to bring out to the yard. That was his favorite part of that movie, right? Remember when Money Man fucking shoved shit up his ass and went and it was in the soap on? Yeah, you remember. Anyways, Wes Watson done that and he continues to do that. He's the only man known on earth that still hoops on the streets. It's crazy. I mean, most guys, when they want to reminisce about prison, they'll bust a spread or they'll tell old school prison stories. This guy would actually hoop something when he starts missing prison. It's weird. But this is what the guy reaches out and tells me. He tells me this. So they're in the county jail. And Wes Watson had just got there. And when Wes Watson got there, he was like anyone else would be that just gets in the county jail, nervous. He had nerves. He had butterflies in his stomach. He had larvae in his stomach, right? He was a little nervous. And so I've told you guys in the past, and it's a true situation, man. Wes Watson, as he got a little bit more comfortable because there was a few good woods there from San Diego, brother, he started to realize that, the best way to do time was to adapt to your surroundings. And I'm not going to lie to you, man. I'd be a bullshitter and a hypocrite if I sat here and say that's not how you do it. You sit back and you kind of let things unfold in front of you. Now, Wes Watson was not aggressive. Wes Watson was not the Wes Watson all trend out that we know. Wes Watson was not all big like a fucking goon gorilla. Wes Watson was a skinny white man with a couple tattoos, a www.fucking-stickitupmyass.com on his chest, and he was just a regular schmegular guy. Now, let's not get it twisted. I've talked to a lot of people that know Wes Watson personally. In fact, one of his connects is actually a good friend of mine, right? And he told me a lot of stories about Wes Watson. And one story is for sure, and it rings true because it rang true with this wood telling me, Wes Watson got on the scante. Okay? True stories. No lies. Wes Watson started to develop a little bit of a habit just before he got locked up. And that's the whole reason why he got locked up, was all of a sudden that beat in his car disappeared. Them rims on his car disappeared. His roommates who he was living with, a couple females, said this man could not even afford rent because all his money went to his car payment for his Range Rover. So Wes Watson was out there nickel and diming, hustling, doing his thing, and he found himself locked up in the county jail around some good old woods, brother. Now, county jail removals are a little bit more different than prison removals. See, in prison, when someone gets removed, they're usually getting bodied. Okay, now depending upon the county jail, if it's LA County Jail, I can't speak on that. I've heard some dangerous, treacherous stories about LA County. And the county jail that Wes Watson, I've heard some crazy and dangerous stories about that in San Diego as well. But Wes Watson was not a participator to that point. He basically got pushed into his first removal. So Wes Watson's there. He's kicking back, this dude tells me. And there was a guy that came that was all stunted out. Now you got to understand now, Wes Watson at the same time was coming off of dope. You know, I know he likes to make believe and tell everyone and be a life coach and say that, you know, drugs are tearing your temple down and he never participated. But the truth is, Wes Watson's a scammer and a liar. He, just like most people in the streets, participated in indulging in narcotics, and he found himself in a situation where he couldn't control it, brother. Right? He was all wooded out. He was high as fuck. He needed a shower, probably needed a mamon, and there wasn't no one there to give it to him but his celly. So, you know, as Wes Watson says, he was pretty treacherous with his cellies. But he's there and he's blending in. Now, I told you what the guy told me before. Wes Watson did have several females visit him, beautiful females. The guy said, I'm not going to lie, bro. He got visits every weekend. He had these fine-ass chicks. And I mean, when you're a chick, you have fine chicks around you, right? I've noticed that. You ever noticed that? Have you ever noticed how gay gentlemen always have fine women around them? In comes Wes Watson, right? So Wes Watson had these fine females visit him. He had his old lady, I'm sure it was Val, his ex-wife, visiting him or whoever. And they were sending him pictures. Now, I've told you guys in the past true stories that Wes Watson was utilizing these pictures for favor, meaning he was slanging these pictures on the tira because they were sexual pictures of a sexual nature, to get money, you know, to get shit, put money on his books and to eat, you know, and to use deodorant if he uses it. I don't know, but someone with sabacos like that, I'm sure he.
Catch it, homie. Catch it. Put some deodorant on. You know, porfas.
And in the words of 270, Joey Stack, hey, homie, you fucking need deodorant, homie. Look, I run San Antonio, homie. I'm going to tell you right now. Lowe's, Home Depot, 7-Eleven, Whataburger. Hey, homie, whatever it takes and whatever you need, homie, we got you. You need deodorant? Yeah, go to Albertsons, homie. Go to Albertsons. No, don't go to Albert Cell and give my mamona. I said go to Albertsons, homie. Right? So everyone knows that Wes Watson needed cosmetics. He needed food. So he was slinging pictures of his naked old lady on the tier. He was also giving up pictures to the Woods. So that way they didn't do bad things to him. Now, a Wood comes in, right? He's a youngster, and he's coming off of Scante. And I don't know if you've ever had a celly that, you know, or if you've ever been in jail or prison, but that's one thing I hated about the county jail the most is there was homies that were like getting high on the streets. They were coming down. They'd come in the cell. They'd sleep their 3-day fucking, their 72-hour pass. They'd sleep it off. And, you know, it was just all fucked up in the cell. One time I had an addict in my cell. He was off that black, right? He was throwing up everywhere. He smelled like shit. He needed to shower. It's just a bad situation when Walters are doing that, right? So anyways, this Wood gets in there. He's coming off Scante. He's horrible. He smells horrible, right? And he gets celled up with Wes Watson. This is what the guy's telling me that taps in with me. And he said the dude got celled up with Wes Watson. And instead of Wes Watson dealing with the celly, you know, because in a case like that, when you get a celly like that, if he's in on a solid case, it's not like you could put hands on him or beat him up. But see, Woods move differently. Woods are allowed in certain situations to run their program when it comes to their celly. Now, if it's political, you know, that's a different story. You're going to have to ask the shot callers or the llaveros, the key holder, you know, what time it is and go with your proper channels. But if you have a celly who's all fucked up, man, he stinks and it's all bad, you have reserved the right to hold it down for your cell and tell him, hey, bro, clean your fucking act up, get with the program, come get up to par, or you're going to have to fucking do it pushing, right? If you have to put hands on him, yeah, there might be repercussions for that. But I myself am not going to live in a cell with a dirty bastard, period. ODB ain't coming in my cell. And I think Wes Watson felt the same way. So Wes Watson, instead of approaching his celly and doing the that he says he does, choking his celly out, deboing on his celly like he said in the past, what he did is he went out into the tier and he brought it to the day room. He brought his cell drama to the day room and explained to the good Woods, brother, you know, the coffee drinking Woods, not to stick your hand up your asshole Woods like Wes, but told him, hey, bro, you know, this guy right here doesn't want to clean up his act or whatever. Now, I've never once said Wes Watson's a dirty guy. He doesn't seem to be dirty, although his pants went from white to beige pretty quickly. That could just be because those are the only pants that could fit over his thunder thighs and that look good on his skinny ankles, right? But at the same time, I've never seen him to be despicably dirty. You know, he's not a Despicable Me fan. But what he is an individual that while in the county jail wasn't what everyone thinks he was or what isn't what he proclaims. He was scared. He was nervous. So he went out to the tier and he asked the good old Woods brother for some advice. And come to find out, the guy that was in there was not in there on a bad charge, had not done anything, but Wes Watson went to the day room, and because he was scared to tell the dude to take a shower and to get the fuck up out of his cell, he smutted the dude up in typical Wes Watson fashion, and he told him that dude was talking about some weird shit. Now, I don't know exactly. The dude explained to me, man, he wasn't privy to that conversation. He was on the outside looking in too, but he heard that Wes Watson said that dude was talking about some crazy wild shit that he had done while he was on Scante with someone of a young nature, right? So, of course, you know, in most situations, especially in prison, you're going to need paperwork. You know, if the dude's not in on a wild case, if his co-defendant is not saying he told, if there's not some concrete evidence that this dude actually has a charge like that, you can't just move on him because he hasn't took a shower. Now, I mean, I guess you can, but, you know, there's different levels to this shit, things you're supposed to do. So what Wes Watson did was he did the only thing he could do. He felt in the situation, instead of knuckling up and handling his business, he went and dicked the dude up. He smutted his name up and made the dude look like a sexual predator. Now, the Woods that were there at the time were no nonsense Woods. I've been around some of those guys, brother. Roach was the same way. You know, and that's one thing I've noticed about Woods. If you tell them something and it gets stuck in their mind, well, brother, that motherfucker's just got to go, brother. What you gonna do, Wood, right? Well, let me explain to you what they were going to do. You know, Wes Watson didn't realize the situation. And here's the real situation. This happens with all races, all ethnicities. If you're the one to bring up some bullshit, you have to handle the business.
Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o, Wes Watson.
Usually when you got something to say about someone, you're expected to handle your business, especially if you're making accusations or dicking someone up. When I say dicking someone up, that means like slandering their name, talking shit about them. That's just a YA fucking term, right? If you're dicking someone up, like Wes Watson was doing and shitting on his character, you best better have some paperwork. In the words of Cali Muscle, you gonna get catapulted up out of the chair in the cell block if you don't have the paperwork. Right? So you better have the paperwork. He didn't in this case. It was just his word because he was scared to put hands on this youngster and get rid of him. He put himself in a situation where he was forced to. So what happened was the homeboy that taps in with me, he was a youngster at the time, but he was a good Wood. He was in on a solid case. He had a couple burglaries or whatever. And so him and Wes Watson and another individual were tasked with removing this guy. Now, they weren't going to use weapons. It wasn't that serious because, again, there was no paperwork. It was basically Wes Watson wanting to get rid of this guy out of his cell. And people started to realize that because Wes Watson took it from just telling other races and telling other people. He was over there sitting with the Southsiders. This dude told me, telling them all about the removal they were going to do. Just fucking, he should have got, look, Wes Watson should have been removed in that instance. You're not supposed to bring any ethnicities into your business, speak on Wood business, brother, or do any of that. You're supposed to handle your fucking business. No one sees nothing. No one knows nothing. Dude gets rolled up out of the cell. Bye-bye. That's it. But Wes got a big fucking mouth. So now people are starting to realize that more so because the story was changing, that he just wanted to get rid of dude. Now, poor dude is kicking dope. He's in the cell, stinky than a motherfucker. I understand that. I wouldn't want to be in there either. Day root time would be exclusive, and I would love it. But just because the dude's on dope, you know, and the cool part was Wes Watson himself was once there. When he got into the county, he was on the kick. So for him to sit there and really do this and push this propaganda on a dude is fucking unfortunate, but this is what happens in jail and prison, man. One guy can do this. Now, that doesn't mean that Wes Watson had seniority and everyone believed him, but it's a situation where you don't want to take any chances. And depending upon who's there, some dudes are hardliners, meaning they're not fucking around. Some dudes are hardliners and they're straight up. They want to see paperwork and they don't care about none of that. And you're going to find yourself getting removed for talking shit. But then there are some that just are like, no, we're not going to take a chance, homie, right? And they didn't want to take a chance. So what happened was, again, this youngster, Wes Watson, and another dude were tasked with removing this dude. Again, there was no weaponry involved, which to me was kind of, when I asked him, I said, why didn't you guys use weapons? He said, bro, we didn't have any at that time. It wasn't that type of situation, that type of party. We just were going to stomp this dude out and get him the fuck off the tier. I understand it. I've seen it. I've been in Tracy prison when a paloma or a fucking wheelock got handed down where we were not to use no weaponry because they didn't want us to go on lockdown for an extended amount of time. So I've been in all kinds of different situations where it's just hands-on or it's straight to the fucking weaponry. I've seen it all, truthfully. Participated in it, been participated on, all that. So I can tell you guys right now, just because they didn't use a weapon didn't mean it was all bad. They just didn't use weapons at that time. So dude tells me, okay, we're going to do this. What happened was they would come out of their cells for whatever amount of time, and then they would get locked up back in their cells. They had to do it this day because I guess dude was on his 5th, 6th day of not showering, and Wes Watson kept wanting to do this removal. But see, Wes Watson was never aware that he was going to be a part of it. He wasn't aware that he was going to have to do it. He thought other youngsters were going to do it. And because he was who he was, and because he gave pictures of his wife's pussy to every wood on that tier, that he like had to pass, but he didn't. And I need any other woods that were locked up with Wes Watson in the county to raise your hands if you've seen Wes Watson's wife snatch. I'm not going to say I haven't. I'm not going to say I have. I'm going to plead the 5th on that one. But to the woods, I know there are some that there's still pictures floating around, unfortunately for her, right? Wes Watson gave him up like that. But he was told that he was going to have to participate, and the dude told me he was nervous as a motherfucker. It boggles my mind.
You were scared, huh, Wes? You were scared, doggy. Hey, doggy, you were scared? It's okay, doggy. It's okay. It's just a removal, doggy.
He was upset. He was upset and scared and didn't want to participate in it. But just like the movie Shot Caller, we're fucking going to do this, man. He was forced to do it, right? And so what happened was this. In typical Wes Watson fashion, he went in there and he grabbed a cup. A good old cup of coffee, a good old cup of Joe, brother, right? And while his cellie was sleeping, hit him in the head with the cup. And they definitely had to push Wes Watson in there on him to take flight first because it was his cellie. And he participated in it, allegedly. They did this, right? They got rid of this youngster. They kicked him to the door. He fucking rolled it up and got up out of there. And then the dude tells me Wes Watson was walking around like a peacock, chest all out. And the legend of Wes Watson there began. So I know we've done a lot of videos. A lot of people have that Wes Watson's a punk, that Wes Watson's scary, that Wes Watson has never done anything. I was told by a good old wood brother that I trust that Wes Watson did participate. Now, he didn't want to. He was very scared, but man, the damage he could do with a coffee cup. And that leads me to his most recent attack, right? Wes Watson likes weaponry, obviously. For a man that has major hands, major skills, and beats everyone up and just all that and chokes his cellies out, he sure does like using weapons, man. And what does that prove, or what does that show? That shows a man that's not confident in his ability to handle his business, or to take a one-on-one fade, or to stand by what he believes in. What that is a man that plays by different rules. Now, I understand there is no rules in fighting, okay? Have I participated with weaponry in the past? Absolutely. But there has to come a time when you have to take that fade heads up and handle your business, man, and be a man and stand on them morals. And that's just real. There's been a lot of people that take fades, win some, lose some, it doesn't matter. But Wes Watson definitely did a wood removal. Now, this is what happens after that. So he's feeling he got a peacock chest. The dude said thought he was all tough, telling everyone the story about how he was going in there beating everyone up. He said this dude hit him 2 times with the mug and ran to the back of the cell. And the 2 youngsters put dicks and fucking hands on the dude, right? Now, I'm not surprised. Again, does this make Wes Watson a punk or scary? No. He handled his business because he was told to handle his business. But again, this was a situation where he slandered and dicked up the dude that didn't even deserve to get removed. Wes Watson's one of them guys that will say anything or do anything to prove a point or whatever's good for him. And that is one of the reasons why I don't care for Wes Watson. I don't dislike him as a person. I don't know him, but I don't care for the character that he displayed while incarcerated, man. The last thing you need to do is fucking set your cellie up. And because what would have happened if these guys would have caught a body? You'd have had guys in there that caught a body. And I've seen people catch bodies over a simple fucking hands-on removal. All why? Because Wes Watson didn't like the way it smelled in his cell. Handle your fucking business, Bolo. He has a history of not handling his business, Bolo. I know Santo G said he was in Oklahoma and he's seen Wes Watson fight the shot caller and tear each other's fucking ears and legs off and do all this and that. But I really, really, really don't believe that, man. If it happened, it happened. I mean, everyone fights at least once in a while. But I just think that Wes Watson is the type of individual that wants others to participate in his behalf, just like Big Boy. Hey, get him, doggy. Get him, doggy. Get him, doggy. Hey, homie, wait up. Homie, there's 1, 2, 6, 8, 5. Yeah, there's 2 of you, homie. You know, you got Big Joe there. Do you know what this is? He says, bomb. Hey, homie, I don't want no problems. There's too many of you. Why can't it just be a one-on-one? We could have curly contests. Shit, we could even do dips, homie. You know what I mean? Put Wes Watson on your shoulders and do dips. You like his balls on your neck anyways. I'm telling you guys right now, this removal did happen. So I got to give kudos where kudos is due. Wes Watson, I guess, was involved in an incident. He was. But not the way it was supposed to go down, man. Anyone who's been in prison knows. Anyone who's been in jail knows. County jail fades, removals, they're different from prison. You know, I was surprised when dude told me the story, but so I got to give Wes Watson his kudos. Okay, Wes, you removed your celly because he stunk. Okay, you're tough. You're a man. Anyways, with that being said, that's the video of the day. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. Do I believe the story? I absolutely believe the story because the dude who tells me the story is A1 from day one. He said, look, bro, I'm not trying to fucking diss or clown on Wes Watson, but that's the truth. And the truth shall set you free. Fucking Wes. Hey, we got to beat my celly. Hey, dog, we got to beat my celly up because he fucking smells like asshole. No, I believe that's your elbow, Wes. You're sniffing your elbow. They're gone.